Big Sil's National Football Show, when you don't get kissed for 3 hours. This is the show of truth, justice, and the Big Sil's way. We lay it on the line for you. We tell you the truth. Some shows don't. Some wave their pom-poms. Not Big Sil's here. We tell you the way it is. Eagle fans, you're in trouble. Oh, by the way, on December 28th, you think Wounded Duck Lane Johnson can handle Nick Bosa in a football game? Okay? That would be like The Exorcist. It'd be a horror movie. Nick Bosa would destroy Lane Johnson today. And I give Lane all the credit in the world for wanting to go out there and gut it out. Well, more appropriately now, right? Gut it out. Lane's not coming back this year. Prepare for that. He's not coming back. So you've got to adapt like every other NFL team does. And if he happens to try to come back, great, it's gravy. But if I were you, I wouldn't get my little hearts all set on him playing in the playoffs. He got hurt in Chicago. He got more damaged in Dallas. You think he's going to get better? This is a rest injury. He needs surgery. That's not getting better. He is lost for the year. Prepare for that. Prepare for that. And on top of that, have this in the back of your mind. Hey, if things work out and he plays, wonderful. But don't put him out there against Nick Bosa in the NFC title game and think you're going to block him if you're 50%. Bosa will crush him. Crush. He's the best defensive player in the NFL this year. And it's really not close. I don't care what they say in Dallas. Bosa will kill Lane Johnson in a football game. And then you're going to move your lesser tackle over to try to block Nick Bosa. By the way, so why would you move Jordan Mailata to the right side, knowing full well that Nick Bosa plays right DE? Why is that? To protect the blind side. So you're going to put Andre Dillard on Nick Bosa in the NFC title game? I mean, are you looking to get Jalen Hurts killed? You've got some decisions to make here over the next 2 weeks. It's not that cut and dry. It is not that cut and dry. Do you play Hurts or not? The way it's sounding to me, Gardner Minshew starting again. He'll be better against New Orleans. You watch that coaching staff throw the ball more, though. You watch. You'll make it a game. And then the Saints will beat you. The Eagles are not the same team. They're not. Why in the world would you move your best tackle on the blind side of your offensive line when your quarterback is injured and put a backup in there to protect the flank of your quarterback? Why in your right mind would you do that? So you're going to put the lesser of the two tackles, Andre Dillard, at left tackle to block guys like Bosa. Or if you get into the playoffs again and play Michael Parsons or the kid in Minnesota. You're really going to do that? And your quarterback's hurt. Good luck to you. Good luck. By the way, this is a note to Darius Slay and all the people over at the NovaCare Center. So Darius Slay blocked me on Twitter because I was critical of his play. I didn't know you were that tight-skinned, dude. I had no idea you were that tight-skinned. Play better. I didn't make it personal. I said, since Dallas, you sucked. He didn't like it. Okay. Hey, kid, play better. You haven't. You're not a $17 million cornerback right now. Play better. You have not. And I'll put this in here too. I'll put this in here. I don't really think he's played really well since CJ got hurt. And I think it's been magnified more. Has CJ Gardner-Johnson been covering for Darius Slay the last couple of weeks? Sure looks it. Sure looks it. To me, if I'm Howie Roseman, this is what you got to ask yourself. How's that secondary look without CJ back there? Not very good. Bradbury's been playing your best corner. Dude, play better. I get paid to do this. This is my job. Your job is to cover WR1. Not to sit there and worry about what Dan Sileo says on JAKIB Sports. Sitting there moaning and then sending me DMs telling me, hey, I don't like how critical you've been. Well, play better. That's on you. Play better. You don't want me telling the truth? Here's another guy that can't handle the truth. Jesus, dude. Sack up. Act like a pro. You're being criticized because you suck. Dude. Nothing personal. Play better. You haven't. That secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles right now, not the best secondary in the NFC. Absolutely not. Not the way they're playing. Jonathan Gannon with that gaping zone hole in the middle of his scheme was exposed by Dan Quinn. You know how? He knew that linebacker couldn't cover tight ends. So what did he do? He took the backer out of the zone with the tight end. He knew Gannon would play this. Watch the 22. He would play the soft zone coverage. CeeDee Lamb ran across that zone like he was swimming the English Channel. He was wide open. Wide open. Take TJ out. That secondary's got too much real estate to cover back there. That's a Jonathan Gannon scheme issue with his defense and the structure of the defense. Everybody sees it. Everyone sees it. Bradbury's playing really well. He's your best corner. He's your best corner. You know, it almost seems like to me also that after Slay did a job on Jefferson, he shut it down the rest of the way. That guy made the Pro Bowl too. He ain't a Pro Bowl player right now. Look at what Devin says. 50% of Lane is still the second best tackle in the game. Not when you're playing against the best defensive tackle in the game and the best defensive player in the game. A 50% of Lane, he'll kill Lane Johnson. Won't be close. Be a 3-sack game, your quarterback gets banged up even more. Niners will beat you right now, even with Brock Purdy. God knows what your quarterback's health situation is. You don't even understand that right now. I mean, you put him in that game against New Orleans. Isn't that the home of Bountygate? Almost every single one of those defensive football players were involved in Bountygate. They come after your quarterback in New Orleans. Now, Greg Williams isn't there. Neither is Sean. Mickey Loomis is. Dude, don't paint this like I hear people saying this. I'm still confident the Eagles can win the Super Bowl. How? When you lose an MVP on your team. And I'm not talking Jalen. Delusional. Don't act like Cowboy fans. You're delusional. By the way, I'll make this point to you. I don't think this football team has the same ass that 2017 team had. That 2017 team wanted to get into a fist fight with you in a phone booth. I think Jonathan Gannon and Nick Sirianni, I think it's a really nice group of fellas. I think it's a great group of fellas. Everybody's all in harmony. Hey, I like a little bitching. Hey, I like a little guys with a little attitude. Hey, I like guys who talk shit and produce. I like a little bit of that. These guys here, man, I mean, seriously, I feel like I would, when I compare the 2022 attitude of the Eagles versus the 2017 attitude of that championship Eagle team, how come when I see this group, I feel like I'm in a room with CPAs? And when I'm in the room with those 2017 Eagle guys, I feel like I'm in a room with a bunch of jail wardens. Dinner, lights out. Why do I feel that? I feel like those guys are like guards in a jail. These guys, I feel like I want to get my taxes done. I mean, I don't know. Will that play a factor? Do nice guys win? I guess. But there was an attitude about that 17 team. I don't think this team has that attitude. I don't think they want to cut your throat. I think they want to kiss you on the cheek and go, nice game. Shake hands. Team spirit. What's the other one? Hey, congratulations on a well-played game. Fuck that. This is a fist fight. I don't know, just this is a different attitude. Hello, fellas, how are you? That other group would be like, you're in my chair. You sit down for a meal. That 2017 team, hey, you're in my chair, kid. Get the hell out of my chair. Yeah. It's just an attitude. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm overreacting here with this. Right? Maybe I'm overreacting. Eagles lose Lane Johnson. You hear Eagle fans? I could swear I'm listening to Cowboy fans. We're okay. We'll just put, what's his name? Andre Dillard over there or Jack Driscoll. We'll put him over there. Oh, who cares? We'll put him over. Hey, and we'll block Nick. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, you're the same. Yeah, you look the same in that secondary without Avonte Maddox. And your so-called MVP has missed critical games because he's dual threat. Look what dual threat will get you. Potential of being a wild card instead of winning home field. Congratulations. You now got a dilemma. Do you play him or not? Hey, wait a minute, Niners. The Eagles are good, dude. But I think people misunderstand me sometimes. I'm not talking shit on them. I just want them to be great. Not good. Who wants to be good? You know who's good? The Cowboys. You know who's great? Kansas City, Cincinnati, the 49ers. Tell you what, when I look at the 49er team and the way they beat people up versus the way that the Eagles play, I don't know. I see a different attitude. Just a different attitude. See, I like teams that want to cut your throat, stomp on you, leave you for dead, and then tell you, hey, we killed you. Like the Roman gladiators back in the day. We killed you, we took your land, and then we took your chicks. Sorry, but hey, nice game, guy. See you next year. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Hey, now I know why I'm not on radio. Because I can't be a cheerleader to that kind of shit. No, we're okay. We'll just put Sam Driscoll over on the right side and move Andre Dillard over to the left, and we'll be just as good. Minshew will play well against the Saints. You struggled against the Bears. What makes you think you're going to put a better effort up against the Saints? They're more talented than the Bears. Thank God it's at home. Thanks, Richie. It's Jack Driscoll, the human float. This is what the human float does. So Micah Parsons, okay? Saw Micah Parsons in that game one, held on like he was a float out in the water, bobbing away. I was like, hey, man, I don't know if that's going to cut it versus Bosa. He is 6'6". Minshew will blow the Saints out. Oh, yeah. Dude, you line him up over Lane Johnson right now, he will kill Lane. Yeah, seriously. You'll have to put Lane in the injury tent for the rest of the day. Take the day off, kid. It's over. Saints don't scare anyone. You see right there what he says? Trexler, he still thinks he's the same Eagle team that he was last Friday. You're not. You're not. You're less one of the most important people on your team. Actually, two. Yesterday, Gary Cobb thought the Avonte Maddox injury was more detrimental than even the Lane Johnson injury. CJ coming back? I hear people talking like that. A lacerated kidney? Okay, let me know when he's practicing first. Let me know when he's practicing. Hey, if you could have a mercy rule, Lane Johnson would need it on December 28th versus Nick Bosa. It's nothing about ability. Hey, I'd love to see Lane in 100% health going against Nick. That'd be a great battle. That was one of the battles I wanted to see. That ain't happening this year. You don't line him up. Then again, he wouldn't see him. You know why? Because he lines up over the left tackle. The guy who protects the blind side. Sills, Minshew's way better than Purdy. I think so. Jonathan Gannon. Oh, man. Jonathan Gannon. He's probably going to be interviewed for the Bronco job. He'll probably be interviewed for the Bronco job. Dan Quinn and him are going to be interviewed for that. I got a pretty good source that's telling me that. He's going to be interviewed for that gig. I think Dan Quinn gets that job, though. Okay? I think he gets that job. Yeah. This dude's always talking shit. What shit? Lane Johnson being hurt going against the Defensive Player of the Year? That's not shit. That's fact. Avonte Maddox being hurt? That's fact. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to take a line from my boy Barrett Brooks. Marshmallow Hands. What are you going to do about him? What are you gonna do about Quezzy? What are you gonna do about little Quezzy? What are you gonna do about him? Little Quezzy running around. Now that everyone knows you can go after him and you can kind of mug him a little bit, they're gonna. Oh, so he's soft. Great. Couple hits to the chin. Here we go. And he's Quezzy. Or Queasy. Queasy Watkins. That's his new name. Queasy Watkins. little queasy out here against Dallas. I got to run some routes here. Queasy Watkins. Holy cow. Hey, who's your number 3? Look at this. This is really good, though. A.J. Brown, outstanding. Devonta, great. Who's your number 3? Queasy Watkins. Queasy? Well, he gets a little queasy out there when he sees physical. Can you imagine Derwin James on him? Holy cow, this guy would shit his pants. Can you imagine Derwin James on him? Hey, man, I'm going to take everything out of your pocket and then strip you down. Oh, man. Queasy Watkins. Yeah, huh? Dude, Derwin James, man. That's my kind of ball player. Knock the shit out of you. I love him, man. He is my favorite NFL player today. And that says a lot for Big Sills because he's a Knoll. That kid went to Florida State. Trust me. Pissed off on that, too. Queasy Watkins. Lane is playing through injury. Who cares? So's half the league. Congratulations to you. Dude, how could you have Queasy Watkins in the offensive huddle if you're the Eagles, man? I just don't get it. All right. Hey, by the way, today, Coach of the Year. Week 17 of the NFL. We got a ton of stuff. Top 10 NFL quarterbacks. Man, these top 10 NFL passers are unreal. Merrill Reese, hour number 3, 5:30. The legendary voice of the Eagles. The Saints by the numbers. And if you're interested, some college football bowl games. Let's get to the topics here. By the way, I see you. This guy is so real. Thank you. I'm the one. Dude, I totally love the way Milton Williams is playing. I hope they give him more playing time. Merrill, love him. Hey, Sills, were you around the Cocaine Cowboys? Philly, no comment. Queasy Watkins. Jesus criminy. Barrett called him Marshmallow Hands. I'm calling him Queasy. Or maybe I should say Wheezy. Wheezy Watkins. Are the Eagles still the favorite in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl without Lane Johnson? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, I don't think that there's teams. Here. Let me give you my position. I think that the Eagles came back to the pack, not dropped below the pack. Does that make sense with Devonta and Hurts hurt, Lane hurt? I don't think they've dropped below it. I think there's 5 teams that can win the Super Bowl this year. I told you who they were. Yeah, I think the Bengals can win. Chiefs, Bills, the Eagles, and the Niners. I think those 5 teams, and then it's kind of the rest of the dudes. Watch, Minnesota, I don't know. Dallas, I don't know. Chargers, I don't know. Right? It's kind of the rest of those dudes. And again, I want you to, I am not saying that the Eagles now have fallen below the Bills or the Chiefs. I'm not saying that. Not saying that. But I am saying that it's now a 5-horse race for the Super Bowl. Okay? Big Sills. Some replays of Cox taking plays off. He still does that shit. I watched it on the 22 too. Hey, he's been productive. This is brand new for him. Seals vomited in his mouth before he said Eagles. That's not true, maniac. These injuries are piling up at the wrong time. Absolutely. Because you know why? The Vikings are winning. It's not so much about the Cowboys winning. It's more that the Vikings are winning. Can you imagine if they would have lost that game to the Colts? You could rest your guys and not worry about it because you'd have home field wrapped up. These next 2 weeks, we're going to get to the other topic here. Are you going to play Jalen Hurts without Lane Johnson? Hey, here's what you have to think about. So Nick Sirianni today at the press conference was asked if he was going to play. He's getting better. He's getting better. Okay, he's getting better. So he's not better. And you've got now your dominant right tackle out. Okay? What does that necessarily mean? If you're a coordinator now, Jalen has to run more. Jalen has to run more. It's not like missing a running back or a wideout. You're missing one of your dominant tackles and one of the dominant players in the league. Jalen's got to run more. Are you going to run your quarterback with a hurt shoulder without Lane Johnson this weekend against New Orleans? Really? You're going to run him more? Or are you going to take a chance on throwing the ball and playing right into the hands of the Saints? Are you going to abandon the running game? Remember, he's dual threat. He's dual threat. He's going to have to run this weekend to beat the Saints. He's not going to beat the Saints in the air. That's not what he is. This guy puts up 50, 60 yards, 15 carries, and throws for 250. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you really going to play Jalen Hurts this weekend without Lane Johnson? Are you? Why can't be you acting like the Saints are good, Sills? Dude, the Bears sucked and almost beat you. Washington just benched a guy that beat you. The Commanders benched the guy that beat you. That wasn't good enough for the Washington Commanders. They benched him. Wentz is back in. Are you real? Seriously, give me a thumbs up. Are you playing Jalen Hurts this weekend without an offensive lineman who helps protect him? And he's banged up in the shoulder. Are you playing him? I can't wait to hear this thing. Minshew mania, baby. And if you don't play him and you lose, that means you got to rely on the Giants, a divisional opponent. I'll put this in the back of your hat here, and you can take the hat off and take the little note that Big Sills told you. Remember, you killed Washington in the first game. Del Rio and Ron Rivera saw what you guys did. They came back with a whole new game plan against you and actually beat your ass with a guy who's on the bench now. Oh, my God. Hey, if I were the Saints, I'd go right at Slay. See how He's talking shit, too, on Twitter and shit, taking shots at me. Dude, worry about your game. It sucks right now. You're the lesser of the dudes in the secondary, actually. And since you're going to be 32 in January, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I sure like Bradbury and C.J. Gardner-Johnson more than I like you right now. Shit, get this. Johnson played so well. He played so well, he's still the co-leader in the NFL in interceptions. I don't know. I'll tell you what, Slay don't look the same. Get better, guy. Nobody wants to answer the question. Why? What happened? Are you going to play Jalen Hurts this weekend without Lane Johnson? This could end your year. Remember something about Nick Foles in 2017. Foles was a Pro Bowl guy at one time. A couple of years removed from that 17 Super Bowl, he was a Pro Bowler. Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew? I don't think so. Ray says, damn right, play him. There you go. Run them horses until they break their knees. You got it, baby. Play them guys. Oh, my God. The Eagles have one and done all over them. Because these are the inexperienced moves that coaching staff. By the way, I hear people say that this team is better than the 17 team. It's quite a statement when you haven't won shit yet. You haven't even secured home field yet. Have you won the East yet? And by the way, your coaching staff, in my opinion, inferior to that staff. Inferior. Yeah, Ray. Ray, do you know what we'll see means? It's the same as potential. You haven't done it. We'll see. We'll see if the Titanic gets across the Atlantic. What would you do, Sills? Very good. I think you need to play Jalen Hurts. Okay? Because you know what it's going to do? What do you here? I think you play Jalen Hurts. What is that going to do to the rest of the team? Jeff Stoutland goes to his O-line. You got to protect this guy. Don't let anybody near him. We need him. It's your responsibility to protect him. Jalen, it's your responsibility to protect yourself. Don't be reckless. If we lose the game, we lose the game. But when you put an inspirational leader like that out there, everyone ups their game because he knows he's playing through pain. And he wants to be out here with his guys. If that's me and I'm the head coach, I look at the player and go, you're going if you can. You're going. Every game is meaningful. There's no meaningless game in the NFL. There's no such thing as a meaningless game. Ask Chicago if that game was meaningless, the way they beat up the Eagles. There's no such thing as a meaningless game. Everything has context to it in life. Tell you what, Jalen Hurts steps out there. They win that game against New Orleans, and they secure home field advantage, and that guy puts his cannolis on the line, and he gets banged up. He throws for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'll say this to you, man. It just gave me goosebumps. Man, I'd go like this in the MVP race. I don't know, man. That guy did something that no other guy did this year, including Allen, including Mahomes, including Burrow. You know what that was? get out there when their team needed him the most, and he's banged up. And it would be the counter on what happened with Wentz versus Seattle years ago. That's why Howie Roseman drafted Jalen Hurts. He's not going to put his hand up and say, I can't go back in versus Seattle. He's going to put his hand up and go, I'm going versus New Orleans. If Jalen is 75%, I'm playing him. Dude, don't be soft. Everyone's hurt in the NFL. Everyone's banged up. A lot of teams are playing for something. Come on, man. Can I tell you what I think the Eagles are lacking right now? I don't think it's focus. Well, maybe it is some type of focus. But can I tell you what I think the Eagles have to get in playoff mode. See, they've been going around listening to all you guys tell them that they're the best team. Now they're doing business decisions. Should we play them? Should we not? Maybe Lane could come back in the playoffs. You guys are talking playoffs already? You haven't secured jack shit. You're not in playoff mode. That's why teams are playing you close. You don't have a playoff mentality right now. That's why it looks like the team's tired. You're sitting around, well, should Jalen play or should Minshew play? Who should we rest? Wow, sounds like you're ready. Ready to get bounced. One and done. Earlier, can I tell you this? Earlier in the year, I heard Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts go, we have one-game seasons. Now we're talking about today. Well, if we rest him here, we can get him back for the playoffs. We'll find out more about Gardner Johnson here. Vontae Maddox, we're still waiting to get some, hopefully get him back for the playoff. Jeez, really? You're ahead of yourselves here a little bit. Eagles are reading their press clippings. They're going to get bounced. One and done. That's not a winning mentality. I heard Barrett on Sports Take bringing this kind of stuff up. I'm going a little more knee-deep into it, and I'm getting more in your ass on it. That team's not ready for the playoffs. They're preparing for the playoffs. They ain't playing playoff football. Absolutely not. 3rd and 30? Yeah, you're on your game. 3rd and 30? Yeah, it sounds like you're on your game, dog. Come on, man. You got 2 weeks left, dog. You guys are doing business decisions. That's because your general manager runs your football team and not your head coach. There's exactly right here. Here's Howie all over this. Well, maybe we'll get him back for the playoffs. Dude, I wouldn't even be barking that publicly. Who are you telling that to? The Eagle fans? Don't say anything. Isn't that why New England is such a great cloak and dagger kind of organization? They don't tell you shit. They're not going to go like this. Well, this guy may be ready for the playoffs. They're not going to tell you anything. He's injured. He's not playing this week. That's the end of it. But the Eagles have to go into this giant, he needs surgery, and he's going to hold it off, and maybe dude, shut up. Don't be telling everybody everything. Make them have to prepare. Now, guess what they did? Now they gave the Giants notice that Lane won't be playing in the final week of the season. So I'm going to line up Kayvon Thibodeau over your weakest tackle. Why would you do that shit? That is so dumb. Well, the answer is your GM runs the frickin' team. Don't tell people and telegraph shit. Dude, Howie Roseman should be on the top of the NovaCare Center with a blanket giving smoke signals out on how and what he's doing. Dude, shut up. Shut up. You telegraphed everything. What if you lose to New Orleans? Giants know now. Hey, I could get into the playoffs. I'm going to put my best pass rushers over that guy. Now that I know that Devonta Maddox is not going to be playing in the next couple weeks, Dude, I'm going to run tight ends across that soft-ass Jonathan Gannon zone. Teams are game planning now. You're 2 weeks out. Why would you telegraph that? You should have just said this about Lane's injury. We're evaluating, and he'll miss this week's game. That's all you're obligated to say. But the NovaCare Center goes into this, goes into this thesis. Well, if he's here, he's there. He goes in. I mean, make him have to prepare for you. Giants know 2 of the best players on the Eagles won't be ready for that game. Final regular season. It could be for home field. Big Seals, are you saying the Eagles season's over? No, I'm saying be smarter. Don't tell people everything. You don't have an obligation to over-explain yourself. But GMs do that. Coaches never over-explain themselves. We're on to Cincinnati. You ever think about making a quarterback move? We're on to Cincinnati. Coach, Brady didn't. We're on to Cincinnati. That's all he owes them. Nick goes into this, hey, Kobayashi, and, you like my shirt today? And, hey, don't telegraph shit. Nick likes to be philosophical. Hey, Nick, how about being a football coach? Don't tell everybody shit. Dude, players from the opposing teams watch this stuff. Oh, so now get this. Lane's out. What, you don't think Dennis Allen, who's a pretty good D coordinator / head coach, not so much, they're going to run fucking games over there on whoever's playing on the blind side, especially if you move Mulata. Think about how, I don't want to say how dumb, but how irrational that is. My quarterback's hurt. I'm moving my second best tackle to the right side. My blind side will be exposed for the quarterback. What does that mean? Jalen runs more. You want your quarterback with a sore shoulder running 20 times against the Saints? Come on, man. And by the way, the Saints are still in the NFC South race. Dude, don't make one problem 4. If you do that, at least Jalen, get this. Follow me here. Why you would never move Mulata. When Jalen drops back, if the kid gets beat, at least he sees the pressure. If you got a guy on his backside and he beats him, Jalen doesn't see the pressure. He's going to get killed. Or he has to run. I'm game planning that. If I was Dennis Allen, I'd be like this. If they move Mulata, okay, over to right tackle, which makes no sense. Lane Johnson is not the pass-protecting quarterback tackle. The blindside tackle is. Andre Dillard. The organization doesn't trust him. When was the Cowboys' last NFC Championship appearance? Devin, I think when Clinton was in the White House. Saints are going to run games and blitz the right tackle. If they move Mulata, yes. But at least Jalen will see that. Well, if you were in uniform, suit up against when you guys doing typing, try putting it legible for me to read. The Cowboys? Dude, the Cowboys. Hey, the Cowboys are a concern now because of your injuries. The Cowboys are totally a concern. Play Hurts with no Lane Johnson. Whew. I'm doing it. I need that game. I don't want to come down to the Giants. Howie opened his freaking mouth and now telegraphed it that Lane's out for the regular season. Okay, so everyone in the league knows. By the way, Lane's not going to be ready for a divisional game, even with the bye. If anything, he'll be ready to go for the conference title game. If you're fortunate enough to get there. Howie Roseman has his finger. Dude, can I tell you, I wish Howie would just, once he got off the off-ramp, just pull into the gas station and turn the keys over to Sirianni and go, the team's yours now. He can't do that. No coach in his right mind would tell everybody what's going on organizationally. Nobody does that except Philly. When I saw the report that Lane Johnson was out and that the Eagles have said he's out until the playoffs, I'm like, why would you do that? You've got 2 games. If that was the last game of the regular season, I get it. But you haven't clinched even your division yet. Dude. Your GM, man, he's a handful. He's a handful. Bring Howie on the show. Sorry, I'm not on their White House list of media people to go to. You know, the little White House list that the press secretary has that they go to because they have loaded questions. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, you're a 13-2 team, my ass. You get waxed by the Niners right now. And that 13-2 will look awful dumb if you get bounced one and done. Don't let that happen. Like I told you this is going to either be a steak sandwich or a turd burger. Look at this guy here. You must report all injuries. Makes sense. That's not the point, jackass. Yeah, Lane's out. He's injured. He hurt his stomach. He's out this. You're not obligated to say how many weeks he's out as long as he's on the active roster. You don't have to put a definition behind it and then quote the Beatitudes about what you're going to do or not do. As long as he's on the active list, he's missing this week. All you have to do is no practice, limited practice, doubtful, out. That's it. I'll hook you up on letting you know how the injury report works. Most of the time, it's for the bettors anyway. The NFL is the only sport on Thursday that reports injuries for Sunday. Why is that? Yeah, so the sports bettors can put the line on it. Why do we even report injuries anyway? For gambling. What do you think? The injury report is to give the other team a heads up on who's hurt? No, it's for the bettors in Vegas and Atlantic City. The NFL releases an injury report. I don't care about it. Most people in the world don't, except people who bet. Isaiah, I don't think so. I'm not sure about that, but boy, the Commanders and the Giants may end up getting into the playoffs. That would be remarkable. The entire East gets in. 5-star. This is the problem with the new generation. They don't know the game. There's a game inside the game, right, 5-star? Don't tell your opponent anything about your weakness. Let your opponent have to game plan your weakness. Don't see, look, watch this. So look at what Sirianni and Steichen and Howie did this week. You put a bullseye on Jalen. He's still hurt. Your right tackle's out for the next couple weeks, probably the year. The middle of your secondary and your safety position, you came out and said Avante is out for, why would you say Avante is out for multiple weeks? All you had to do, as long as he's active, he's missing this week against the Saints. Boy, man, they don't do it right there. It's going to cost them. The meddling is going to cost them, and the inability to protect Hurts is going to cost. Remember, I said this. If the Philadelphia Eagles do not win the Super Bowl this year, it's the meddling of the general manager, telegraphing the injuries, and on top of that, it's the coordinator and Nick not protecting their quarterback during a stretch run. As I pointed out over the weekend, I watched the Bills put a wonderful game plan together. And there is no doubt in my mind. There is no doubt in my mind. They watched Hurts get beat up, and they went to Allen and they went, you want to have that happen to you? We're going to run the ball. And the Bills don't even have a running game. They still went for 238. Protecting the guy. Then, of course, you had one of the dumbass media people in Buffalo. Hey, you really don't have a high-powered postseason offense to win a Super Bowl. And Allen just shook his head because it was the game plan. He went, yeah, okay, and moved on. I talked to Ken Dorsey. Ken was like, you're one of the only people that see that, Sills. Tell me the truth. Did you watch Hurts get beat up? Ken Dorsey said, yeah, we weren't going to have Allen beat up against a 3-win Bears team. Unlike your Eagles. Congratulations. Got your quarterback hurt. Got your quarterback hurt. With 2 games left, 3 in the regular season, and one of those games was Dallas. It just can't be me that points this shit out. It just can't be. You know what? I'll tell you this, too. It's too easy. Philadelphia is the easiest media market I've ever worked. All you got to do is tell the truth. Easy. How he's doing is doing work. What, telling the Giants that Lane Johnson's out for the regular season? Congratulations. And the Saints? Oh, okay. Well, let's put a game plan together on games, and we're going to bring corner blitzes on Andre Dillard and Jack Driscoll. Jack Driscoll. Whew. They're going to work that side of the line. Jalen's going to be running for his life. It's going to be one hit, and it's over. Dual threat. And if they rest him, the Giants would have had 2 weeks to prepare Kayvon Thibodeau to rush an injured Hurts. The drama. Finally, some Eagle drama. All by the creator, Howie Roseman. I gotta love it, man. Woo-wee, this is good. Of all teams to lose to, too, the Cowboys. I'd rather have you lose to the Bears. Honestly. Have Jalen healthy and beat that Dallas team. Put them out of their misery. So, Dan, are the Eagles a mirage? No. When healthy? No. 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 No, no, no. No. I'd be a fool to say that. But you're not the same team. Jack Driscoll and Andre Dillard, who the organization hates. (13-2). When that thing gets bounced and the Niners chew you up like a Philly cheesesteak, you'll be like, what happened to 13-2? Oh, man. Oh, by the way, Nick Bosa, NFL Defensive Player of the Week. Congratulations to you, Nicky. I bet you're chomping at the bit to get a hold of Wounded Knee Lane Johnson. Oh, my God, this guy's, the Niners have everything set up for him here. Oh, yeah. And by the way, too, Jimmy G be back for that conference title game. Oh, man, it could be a massacre at Link. Nick Bosa is coming for you. So is Fred Warner. You better get healthy. Come on, Howie. Yeah, I love Doug Peterson's comments today. Doug was like, there's no meaningless games. Well, I wonder if that's a shot at Howie Roseman. When I saw Doug say that today, I got to think that that's a shot at Howie. They asked Doug if his players were playing this week because the final regular season game is against the Titans for the division crown. And Doug said this, something very interesting. There's no such thing as a meaningless game in the NFL. I was like, well, you were in one when you were in Philly. Your last coach game in the history of your career in Philadelphia was a meaningless game. And your general manager rigged the game for a loss. Pulled all the players, deactivated guys, pulled Jalen Hurts even. Threw the game, fixed it actually. Nate Sudfeld. We wanted to see. Hey, I can't even believe that Doug kept a straight face. I got to send him a text. How'd you keep a straight face on that? We wanted to see if Nate Sudfeld had anything in a meaningless game. To Howie, it's probably meaningless. For San Francisco market, Bob already worked there, dog, and crushed it there. Bob, I started my career there. KGO, KMBR, the ticket. I left there for Tampa to do morning drive in Tampa. Already worked it. Already been there. Already owned them. That's a pelt on Big Sil's belt. How'd you do in San Francisco? Well, I was the number one show when I had Sports Phone 68. So I'm already good with that. And I was the post-game show guy for the San Francisco Giants. It was all good to me. Winning! Oh. No, I was not fired in San Francisco, jackass. I left for Tampa. I was never fired there. Ever in San Francisco. I left. I know you read the internet and way to Google it. I wasn't fired there. I wasn't fired in San Francisco. I wasn't fired in San Diego. They were moving me to Boston. Why do you think I was doing night shift? I was doing double shifts in San Diego. You know that? Doing a morning show and then doing another show at night for WEI. A guy in San Diego, when they got guys around the corner, I did it for a year. They were getting me ready for mornings. I love how people put shit up there on the internet and all of a sudden it becomes real. Tampa I was. But then I had a job 17 days later, WQAM. Look it up. Wonderful. All right. We are going to do the quarterbacks who are performing the best in the NFL heading into week 17. Man, there are so many great passing quarterbacks in the NFL today. Some of these numbers are unbelievable. Saints by the numbers. Wait, hey, and the quarterback play has been great. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button, hour 2. Don't forget, in hour 3, Merrill Reese, voice of the Eagles, will be with us. You keep it right here on the National Football Show.